What's going on, everyone? Back here, another episode of Tactical Ambitions, and my boy for a long time now, Tactical Karl, in the house here, Las Vegas, SHOT Show 2024, all the way from H-Town.
Yes, sir.
How's it been?
Man, it's been great. Number one, boom! We got to start it off right, baby.
Start off right.
You have to have that good energy flowing.
That's it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it. Hey, listen, I know we were talking a little bit offline about what you've created. I want to let you tell the people here, because we're talking about home defense, safety, protection. I want to just give everyone a background of who you are so they know who's this man I'm about to get all this knowledge from. So go ahead, give them a little bit of background about who you are, your not only your career backgrounds, but also what you're doing now.
Absolutely. So me, ever since I was a small individual, I want to say about 1 or 2 years old, I knew there's two things in life that I wanted to do. I told my mom I wanted to be a commando, and I told her I wanted to be in law enforcement. So I thought I was going to be like Jackie Chan, flying out of helicopters, doing all of this stuff. So that's the career path I took. It was like just seeing, I didn't watch cartoons. I literally watched Chuck Norris. Like watching Chuck Norris, I was like, I want to be like that dude with this big old cowboy hat out here rocking and rolling. So that's what I did. Literally, I went to the high school for law enforcement, criminal justice. 2 weeks out of graduation, I joined the Army, combat engineer. I picked one of the most dangerous, violent jobs they had at the moment, which was blowing stuff up. The recruiter was like, hey, bud, we have this job, this has a bonus. I said, no, I want to find a job I can shoot bad guys in the face. So he said, I got the perfect job, shoot bad guys in the face, and you get to deal with explosives. So I went into that career path, did the Army for a little while, had a great time, been to some really cool schools, and really just learning about how violence and different things work, knowing how to be a protector, how to be a warrior, how to have the skills that you need to deploy this violence against bad people. Because bad people, they are skilled, not that much, but they're doing bad things to good people. So if the good person don't have the skills to combat that, then at the end of the day, then you're nothing. You're just pretty much worthless.
Yeah, just waiting to be a victim.
Absolutely.
So you turned that passion, you went into the law enforcement route.
Yes, sir.
But then you decided people need to learn, and I say this from a standpoint of my law enforcement, people actually have to learn how to not be a victim.
Yep.
Right? And part of your thing is train like you fight.
Yep.
Right? So you're taking people, and I'm going to let you explain your training program, but you're taking people and you're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to show you what it's like in a real world scenario. I'm not going to bring you in as a lady and in my course be treating you like this. No, because if a man is going to attack you in real life, they're coming at you hard. And I want to talk about the growth of your social media and how it's kind of explosive growth. I think that's part of why that has happened. I think part of it is you're so real and so raw in your training and not putting kids' gloves on when it comes. You're yelling at women, you're yelling at men, you know, but you're showing, hey, this is not a joke. If this goes down, it's going to go down at this speed, at this force. So what made you create a program like that?
Absolutely. So in law enforcement, I started to see I can only help so many people. When I go to these calls, individuals are being raped, individuals are being shot, and bad things are happening. So on my soul, it hurts my heart to see these things happen to these individuals.
Yeah.
So how can I be a force multiplier? Well, I could take the hundreds of thousands of dollars that the United States government has invested in my training, and I can duplicate that and give these people the skills. I take from this toolbox that I have, that I've surrounded my whole entire life with violence, and I take it out and I give it to the people. So when we talk about how intense I get during the training and why I'm the way I am, because I have been through violent situations with individuals from growing up. I grew up in the middle of the hood where you had to fight. An individual look at you wrong, they want to fight you. They want to conduct violence. So seeing it from a law enforcement perspective, seeing it from the outside, just growing up in a certain type of neighborhood to where everything is going down. You need to know how to defend yourself. And my father, he was a part of the Black Panthers. He's still alive and all that good stuff. He didn't believe in me coming home crying, balling up in the corner and said, hey, somebody try to take my lunch money, because I'm tactical size. I'm 5'8" on a good day with the right set of boots. And I was like, I wasn't as big as I am now. I was a very skinny fella with glasses. So individuals wanted to try you. So he made me get on that boxing bag, kickboxing, karate, everything you can name to be able to defend myself, because he didn't believe in that. He believed you will be a man, and if anything comes against you, you need to handle that. So when I push this in training, I cannot duplicate what it's gonna feel like for me and you to get into a violent altercation right here and we start fighting. I can't duplicate that in a training realm of how my heart rate is gonna be beaten, how things are escalating right away, and I need to dominate you, get to my weapon system, get to my blade, get to whatever, so I can win this encounter. But in my training, I try to escalate the stress levels, stress inoculation to the body, so you can understand a response, how you're going to respond. I take the students really slow. We go over the basic fundamentals. Once they start grasping this, they get the knowledge, the information of the basics, then we go to a different level. A lot of trainers don't take it to that different level because they don't know that different level. It's like you with jiu-jitsu, you of somebody who don't just say didn't know anything about it, and you're trying to explain to them, well, if you're in this move, somebody's choking you out, just breathe through it. The unknown person, they're freaking out, they're fighting, they're doing all of this, and I had to learn that the hard way, rolling around with some purple black belts, and just a long day for me. Getting bent up, folded up in my clothes, even rolling around with John. John bent me up, put me in a Kimura one day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that was a lot. But to show them the knowledge and put them through that stress, and once they get it, then they can respond. Teaching them the laws, the rules, the regulations, when you can push that firearm out. Because if an individual's never been in a violent situation and they're trying to explain this, it's very hard. Because you have these guys that they take their firearms instructor course, and that's it. And they go out and they start teaching people. Then they try to recreate this freaking wheel. What's that? T-Rex Arms, right? T-Rex Arms. He's a good guy. At one time, I realized I was hating on him for some reason, but this is the reason why. You got somebody like this that's recreating the wheel. They're saying, hey, you don't need to scan for threats. You don't need to do this, because they're competition shooting, and they're just running around in their big giant backyard doing this, versus taking from somebody who's been in a situation, knowing when you put that threat down, you need to immediately start looking for the next threat, looking for the next bad guy, looking for the buddy that might be running up with his rifle that wants to get in that gunfight. Because if you get in a gunfight, brother, I'm coming right on the side of you, and I'm ready to start pressing some rounds into some individual. So this is the type of stuff that I teach the student, and knowing when to pull that gun out, because we can do all this cool stuff. We can sit here, we can pull sub-second draws, we can pull it out of our backpack. But if you don't know when you need to do it and how you need to do it, you will freeze, you will fail, and you will die.
Especially when that heart's going, that heart is racing, that tunnel vision's coming in, so people who have never been in those situations don't know how it feels.
Absolutely.
And everything, even your fine motor skills start diminishing. So that is something, when you're putting people through those paces at that elevated heart rate and that high stress, you're upping that stress level in that situation. It may not be what it would be like in the actual event, but you're getting them one step closer to what it may be like. And in the military, they do that. They put you through drills and training to simulate what it might be like when it's actual
game day,
and you have shit blowing up around you, you have bullets flying towards you, because they want to get you in at least close to that real life scenario as possible.
It's that mindset, that warrior's mindset. I will not lose. I'm going to dominate the enemy. If anything happens, it's going to go down. Having that mindset of what's going on immediately. So when it's happening, fight, flight, or freeze. There's 3 body responses that you're going to have in any situation. And a lot of times, individuals freeze.
Yes. Yes.
I had a shooting in 2020. Alicia was actually present for that. And the body goes and fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
For a second after the individual, can't go into too much, but a second after the individual pointed a firearm at me and I came out of concealment, I put a few rounds inside of his body and made him stop doing what he was doing. Her response was literally, she didn't hear a gunshot go off. She didn't hear anything. All she saw was this dude, big old gun being pointed at us in our direction at that moment, and me doing what I'm doing, and the guy going down in blood everywhere. The body freezes, and it's so crazy because my wife, I train her all the time. I mean, all the time.
She's out there all the time with you.
So I'm thinking her response is going to be a little bit different. So I was mad at her for a long time. I'm like, hey, get that rifle up. Start scanning for threats. Get on the radio. Grab my radio. I need this happening, this happening, this happening. And my body's responding to everything like it's nothing. Even before that situation hops off, your adrenaline's pumping.
Oh yeah.
I had a fight with a dude a couple of weeks ago with the individual who started fighting us highly intoxicated. And before it happened, I knew it was gonna happen. The legs started shaking. And you're just like this. It's all this energy of the buildup that you can't explain because the human body is just doing it. So when it happens, it's immediately response and like getting a hold to this guy. And while it's happening, I'm nice, cool, and calm, collective, making sure that the use of force goes the way it needs to go and safely get him into custody.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, after which the adrenaline dumps.
Yes.
How do I explain to a student after a situation like that happens? That's one of the most scariest things in the world. I don't care how badass you think you are. The most scary situation in the world is to have 50 cops around you. You're the subject that everybody's trying to figure out. You have to do a walkthrough for this investigation. And you know if you messed up by any micro inch that your life is over.
Yep.
You're going to jail. You're probably getting sued. You're doing all of these things. But in a moment's notice, you can't think about any of that because it's either I live or I die and my family is out here. Yeah. So I'll be damned if anybody has to die, it's going to be me. But that son of a bitch that's trying to kill me, we're going to have a fight. And this fight is not going to stop. It's not going to stop until there's no blood left in my body.
Yep, that's the mindset you like. I stop when I can't breathe anymore.
Yep.
Or like you said, there's no blood left. You give everything. I did a video on this before of people quitting when they still have gas in the tank. And people do that on a regular basis when they're at the gym or whatever it is they're doing. They think they've given it their all, but they just kind of stop when they feel like stopping. When you're in a life or death situation, it's not like I'm going to stop when I feel like stopping. It's I am going to stop when I'm winning and I survive. In jiu-jitsu, which has changed now since I got my purple belt, people train with you different. Black belts that I roll with don't treat me like I was when I was a blue belt. They're treating me as a purple belt now. And you notice the chokes feel a little different. The arm bars feel a little different. The speed is a little bit different because they realize, hey, I'm someone who knows how to deal with this. I've gone through this for over 4 years now. So they're going to treat me different. And now I'm responding. And I say, oh, wow, this is how it would be like a little bit closer to a real fight. It's never in training a real fight.
No.
Unless you're in the UFC octagon, I think, or even outside the UFC octagon where there's no referee, and no rules. That's a real fight.
Because while we're fighting, this just got deployed out.
Right. And then you're saying, okay, does jiu-jitsu still gonna play a role here?
While we're fighting, my little handheld pepper spray didn't deploy it and hit you in the mouth and hit you in the nose and all of this.
Yeah.
So it's no rules. It's violent.
No
If I get the opportunity, I'm gonna bite your eyeball. I can't sit here and fuck around with you. You're too big.
Yeah.
Like, you hit me too hard, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And then when it hurts, I can't be going around with a broken nose, barely can breathe, can't work, can't eat. So the fight's gonna escalate to violence very quickly. If I have an object that I can use, I'm gonna use it. If I can take that table and smash you in the head, that bottle right there, hit you in the head with it, break contact, and start doing what I need to do, then I'm going to do that. I'm not trying to sit here and fight with you because you sit here and fight with some crackhead on the street and they bite you in the face and then you got AIDS for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Now what we're talking about. So that fight in the ring, that fight in training is different from that fight on the street.
Yeah.
Because you got to end it quick.
Yeah.
If we're at a bar or something like that, I got to end it quick because I don't know how many homies that you came over here with.
That's the point. When you have a real street fight, it's not UFC where you're trying to go for 3 rounds or 5 rounds. No. You're trying to end that whole interaction within seconds. That's your goal. Let me ask you from the standpoint of home safety. We have a lot of people reaching out to 221B Tactical now. They're concerned about, and these are people who are not tactical people.
Right.
You know, they never maybe owned a gun. They maybe never even shot a gun, but they're seeing what's going on in our country now.
Absolutely.
They're seeing increase in violence, people protesting, some of these protests moving into neighborhoods, and they're concerned. So they're saying, hey, we want to get some stuff in our house, body armor, some protective gear, whatever. So we're putting together these kits of some kind, almost for the average everyday person who's not law enforcement, not military, not anything else. But for those people outside of the gear that they might purchase, what are some of the most important things? If you just said, hey, you're just an average, Joe and Susie living in some suburban neighborhood with your 2 kids, and you're concerned about protecting your home, your children, your livelihood, whether in your home and some people will start breaking down your door, or you're trying to leave your home and you're in your car and you get surrounded by a mob. What are some of the pointers you can give to people from a training and mindset standpoint?
So you even talked about gear, body armor, all of this stuff. I promote all of this good stuff, right? So having this stuff is cool, but if somebody's breaking in my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not throwing on my vest. I'm not doing all of that. I'm grabbing my rifle that I got on the side of the bed or my semi-automatic shotgun with my light on there, and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to seek and find out where they're at, because number one, my dogs are down there, so they're going to be trying to rip somebody's head off. I got a pit bull and a cane corso, 135 savage animal, and a 75. Well, she's 65 pounds now. And they're going to be down there doing some work. So I need to go down there and I need to back them up, because that's what they're trained to do. They're trained to be one of the second lines of defense. The first line of defense, we talk about home defense, is going to be the surrounding area. Does your house look like a nice area that somebody wants to take? I live in a nice neighborhood. When you come to my front door, my Ring camera is going off. Doo, 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 doo. I have signs right there. No trespassing, no soliciting. This house is protected by the good Lord. Yeah. If you come here to do any harm, you might meet the good Lord. Like, yeah. Yeah, this is right here. I have door armor on my door. So you start kicking my door, it's protected, and it's going to take multiple kicks. You break through my window, I have sensors that's going to go off. So my lighting system, 360-degree lighting system around the house. I don't want my home to be an easy target. I have a freaking patrol car parked outside and a big truck. I'm not some little bitty liberal that you're just gonna roll up on. Yeah. So like, they might look at my wife and see the big afro and the pretty face, like, doo-doo-doo. But no, inside of this home, we're ready to rock and roll. And we practice battle drills. My home defense is a little different than a regular person, because I put bad people in jail. There's multiple people that said they're gonna find me and murder me, and Okay. So my mindset is a little different, but the normal person, good alarm system, good lighting outside, that stops most of the bad guys. If they do enter inside, having a firearm, having a good, reliable firearm with over 17 rounds. Why do I say that? Bad guys running packs. If you miss, then guess what? You need to be able to shoot more. Like as soon as those rounds start flying through the sky, it changes the mindset from you trying to take this from me versus me being the victim versus me going at it with you. Now, my daddy always says this, nobody wants to die, boy.
Yeah.
So when you start sending projectiles at a individual, they're trying to get out of there because this is not something where I'm going to come here, pistol whoop you, get on your knees, I'm going to do whatever to your wife. But if you're an individual who does not have a gun at their home, who's not ready to protect themselves, guess what? Joe Shit the Rag Man can walk inside of your house, take out that big old machete. You gonna think you're gonna fight jiu-jitsu your way through. It's not gonna happen when he hits you in the head with the baseball bat or stabs you with the screwdriver. Now he's gonna do whatever he wants to your family members.
Yeah, that's where the martial arts world is important, and especially with training with police and even civilians. Even my neighbors who see me going to jiu-jitsu, I tell all of them, like, listen, all of you should know jiu-jitsu because you never know. But from a defense standpoint, we don't know when 911 is going to show up.
Nope.
Right?
Absolutely. It takes so long. It's like, 911, what's your emergency? Can you spell the cross street? What is the suspect wearing? Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, a freaking 30, 40 minutes have passed by. Even if the response time is 5 minutes, if I'm on the other side of town, 5 minutes, and now it comes up on my computer, it's already through. And don't let it be a bad day. Because SWAT Jesus might not be there to save you.
Yep.
If it's an officer involved shooting, it's going to be the worst time in the world for whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Let's just say somebody just shot a cop. Boom. Every cop in the city is responding to that. And there was actually a movie called 999 when they robbed the bank. They killed the cop. Everybody responded to the other side. This is sad, but guess what? In society, people don't understand this. One of my brothers is shot. It's an all-hell manhunt. So your little call that's a suspicious person in your house, it might not get picked up for a while.
For a long time.
Until we find this guy. So you might be down Schitt's Creek with no paddle. Or if it's a national disaster. I've worked through every major storm there has been in Texas since I've been in law enforcement for 10 years. Every single one. So I've seen 911 fail.
You were there during that ice storm down in Houston when no one had power. And
I think I called you.
Yeah, you called me. Yeah.
I don't know how to drive on ice. We never had ice or snow. I'm like, hey, bro, how the hell you drive on this stuff? I'm watching YouTube videos like, man, this thing's sliding and slipping.
I know.
Guess what? I can't get to this because I was just in I think I had a little Taurus back then. So it's just sliding all over the road. We can't get to you. Help is not coming at times.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready. So teaching them with the packets how you don't have to do no freaking close quarter combat slicing the pie.
No.
You find a hard point in your home or you get to your family members. Y'all make a hard point. You call 911. You put it on speaker. This is my address. They're going to ask a whole bunch of questions. Send the police now. There's armed people inside of my house. They're trying to kill me. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Venetian Avenue in room number 653. They're inside. Yes, I'm armed. I'm a black male with a black t-shirt on that says silencer shop and camo pants. Give them my description. So when I'm rolling up as a responding officer and I'm ready to do the Lord's work, I'm amped up on freaking Red Bull and 4 hours of sleep. And them sirens are blaring. And I know when I get there, it's going down armed people that I don't smoke you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something very important.
It's real important to give them your description.
Damn right.
You guys are all wearing.
Oh, yeah.
What about, we're seeing a lot of these mobs out there for protesting everything under the sun. I don't know, whatever the thing to complain about this month is. And what is your advice? And I see some of the training you do on your range with people exiting your vehicle, but then there's the mindset of, if you're not armed, stay in your vehicle. There's some people who say both.
So I worked through the biggest riot in Texas, probably in the U.S. after George Floyd, 2020. Houston had the George Floyd riot right there in the city. We had over 60,000 people down there.
Oof.
Over 60,000. I'm part of our special response group. So we definitely handled our business out there. and our city did not burn because this is the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So we handled our business very accordingly, like we should have. If you know there's a freaking riot down the street, don't go down that road. I'm not driving down that road.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, he got caught up in the middle of the riot. They tried to flip his car over. They tried to stab his canine. It was like 300 people rocking his vehicle. And when we rolled up, we politely peeled them off of the vehicle. The dog and everybody was okay. And yeah, they flipped over one of the patrol cars. We had to flip it back over. It was complete, total chaos. So as a civilian, don't go somewhere where you don't need to go. If I see a crazy mob of people talking about green lives matter, when I go, I'm not going to start blowing my horn.
And trying to get through.
No. I'm going to get out the car and be like, green lives matter, green lives matter. If I had to, I'm going to try to blend in and not make myself the enemy. Now, if it's me and they just pick up that I'm the police, I'm not about to let you kill me.
No.
You're not about to cut my head off and put it on a stick. That's that military mindset. Oh, hell no. I'm going to have to drive through some people.
Yeah.
In Texas, we can do that.
Yeah.
You got a right to defend yourself. I'm in fear of my life at that moment. If I got to drive through some people, if I got to shoot it out the whole crowd until my last dying breath and the last freaking piece of blood in my body, I'm going to do that. But as a regular person, please just avoid the situation. Now, you talk about carjacking, me coming out of concealment, punching out, shooting inside of that car. Is very important because people are trying to take your stuff. People are trying to rape you.
Carjackings are through the roof right now. Through the roof.
Number one is because the criminal justice system has failed us because we got all these freaking weird individuals that's in the district attorney's office. I put somebody in jail and they're out the next day, time served. For real.
It's crazy.
Especially these Kia boys. They're out there stealing your Kias. They're 14, 15 years old, and we put them in a ditch, and they're out the next day stealing more cars.
Why do you think we are at that point where people are committing serious crimes and they're literally out there? How does that make you feel doing your job as a police officer? Does that make you feel like...
it's like, what am I doing this for?
What am I doing this for?
Absolutely.
So
how do you fix that?
What's the feeling among you and your coworkers in dealing with this situation where you're going out there, you're doing your job, you're locking these people up that are committing crimes or hurting people. It's
heartbreaking.
And then, you turn around, you're bringing them in the back door, and they're walking out the front door.
It's heartbreaking because you feel like, why am I doing this? What is the point of going out, me about to break my neck, me about to get sued, me about to do all of these things, me having Black Lives Matter come after me? Legit. Because it's like you go to a family disturbance, some dude done whooped his wife's ass, you go to hook him up, he start fighting, you body slam him to that ground and put him in an arm bar and go ahead and hook him up. Now this individual then hit you in the head with a damn skillet. Don't take my baby daddy to jail. And now the whole story didn't change. She's trying to file a complaint against you for excessive force because you didn't just body slam this punk. And now it's a whole problem. So this is where cops started to get that feeling to where they're just like, what am I doing this for? And then you got a lot of these other cops out here that's not doing their job because number one, they're scared. And then you have the individuals that's not capable of violence. We have all this de-escalation bullshit, and I call it bullshit because most of it is when an individual is deploying violence against you, there's a time for talking, there's a time for shooting, and there's a time for fighting. Yeah. As I go on with my career, I do a lot more talking, but I'm doing talking because I know that I am capable of the violence that needs to come next. De-escalation does not work if you're not capable of escalation of violence. Yeah. If you're still on the streets and with your skills now, when an individual starts talking, you're going to be nice, cool, collective because you know that you're probably, the earth doesn't move and you're probably going to put them on that ground. Yeah. So it's just like, that's exactly all right, buddy.
Yeah, so do what you need to do. Get it out of your system, but I'm not going to engage until they're coming in and they're going to escalate. And at that point, I realized my voice trying to de-escalate is no longer acceptable here. Now I have to take action.
You can only de-escalate with somebody who wants to de-escalate. Right. If I'm out of my mind, there's no de-escalate with me. Sometimes when I have my mind made up and I'm being a very difficult, hard-headed individual, my wife tells me, so honey, you just want to yell right now, huh? I guess we're just not gonna go forward with this. You're You're just upset. You're just upset. We were heading a shot show and I didn't get the shots for the dogs in time. Now we're sitting here and you're frustrated like you're about to have money go down the drain and I'm not shutting up because I'm pissed off. So now I'm just angry at the world and nothing that she says at this moment is going to work because if I miss my flight, it's going to be hell on earth. So de-escalation is not working.
Yeah, because you're beyond that point. Yeah, you're beyond that
Until I am ready to get back to that point.
Right.
So that's, especially like New York cops, I feel sorry for them. These guys, they can't even do jiu-jitsu on the individual.
No,
somebody starts fighting them, they just can just get their ass whooped and that's it.
And if you try to defend yourself, you'll end up in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we have individuals not being cops. Something I have noticed, and you probably noticed this too, there's not that many white people going to law enforcement these days.
Oh, it's completely, it's the general numbers for people going into law enforcement have dropped. But you're seeing
more minorities.
Yeah, you're seeing more minorities. And I don't want, you don't want to be in that point where you're saying, hold on a second. Let's take a step back and ask ourselves, why is this happening? Why are we having, and I even know, I have a couple of friends who their kids were going through the college route. They're thinking maybe going to the military. Now, okay, maybe law enforcement. And these are black folks. They're like, hey, you'll become no cop. Do something else. There's something else you could do than become a cop, because it was at the point where you saw people within a town, police chief, you know, the prosecutor, where their own cops who clearly were doing something to protect themselves or protect other people within the township, now they know that, hey, if we don't charge this guy, they're going to burn this town down. So we got to charge this guy.
Well, we need to get off the we need to get off that bullshit. That's it. That's why Trump needs to come on back in. He needs to come on back in, because what we got going on right now ain't gonna work. No. And I said Trump is not the Lord and Savior, but at the same time, we keep playing these soft games. The only people that's going to be hurt is the individuals in there. So it's like California and all these places. You got crazy crackheads running around here, running the city. You got Portland. You got this freaking autonomous zone where these people are running their own city. People getting shot, people getting killed, people getting raped inside of there, and nobody's coming to save them. And that's
no one cares about that stuff.
But we ain't gonna talk about that because we continue to have weak leadership at the top. We're gonna fail. Right here in Texas right now, Greg Abbott, he's going to war with the freaking Biden administration because we got individuals coming over our border and they freaking sued Texas because we're trying to stop bad people from coming in our country. But goddamn, you got Israel. You got fighter jets. We have fighter jets, freaking a fleet of ships and all this to protect their border. And we got motherfuckers on horses with little giddy up border patrol. And we got horses, but we got ships for somewhere else.
Let me ask you to go down that road for a minute. You live in Texas.
Yes.
And how are the people of Texas, just to go off topic for a second, how are they standing for this?
We don't. So I work border missions. Remember, I used to be in the National Guard, Army National Guard. So I've worked on the border before. Okay. I worked in Brownsville. So back when I was in, 5-6 years ago when we used to do it, it was different. It wasn't like just letting people over. People just didn't come over into our country like this. There's a process. We stopped them. I got buddies right now. They were doing catch and release, letting droves, hundreds, thousands of people into this country.
What?
I know first sergeants that's running the show over there.
How? I don't know what needs to happen. Or let me ask you, what needs to happen? Because the people of Texas that are living in these border towns, the stories that they're sharing are almost unbelievable.
Oh, it's real.
And now you have the people of Texas and the government of Texas just simply trying to put up some barbed wire to help protect or reduce the flow of people coming in illegally. And you have our administration saying that's not allowed. Take the barbed wire down or razor wire down and let them come. What needs to happen for the people of Texas to say enough is enough?
You know, there's a saying. Sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand. Texas, we've done it before.
I know.
And sometimes you got to say you got to draw a line in the sand. And we got a very powerful leader, Greg Abbott. He said we drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah.
So it's going to become a situation where it's fuck around and find out. And it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to get there, but I doubt if the federal government's going to fight us. But at this point, that's where it's at. Local law enforcement, our state troopers, all agencies from all over the country are going down right now. We have Florida pushing that men from Florida National Guards, their Florida Patrol. They're going down right now. Yeah. So we have all these individuals that's going down and making stuff happen.
I appreciate your insight from that because you're actually down there.
Yeah.
You're in the mix of it. So that's important. I want to close on this because of your experience, not only from a law enforcement, but from a training standpoint. What's something that the average individual who has no tactical background, no tactical training, no military, no law enforcement, no nothing, what is something that they can do to be better prepared in their home and also for their vehicle? Now, people like you and I, we have bug out bags, we have all this stuff. The average person doesn't,
no.
Right? So I want to end on this because you have a high level of knowledge. What is something that they can do?
Pretty much just start getting the basics. Understand the basics of your firearm. Going to the range. If all you have is just a range, go to the range, shoot that firearm, get comfortable with it. Know how it works, know how it operates, know how it functions. Know your laws. Know when you can and you can't use deadly force against an individual. And know it like the back of your hand, so when Joe Shits the Rag Man is standing in front of you, you're not thinking about it. Look at different scenarios. Play this in your head. When you're driving down the street, what would you do? Is this right? Is this legal? How to do it? So when that situation happens, do what you need to do and get a reputable company that's going to defend you if you do get involved in that situation.
Yeah.
So this is what the everyday citizen needs to know, because a man, his job is to protect his family. His job is to provide for his family, but his number one job is protection. When his wife looks at him and there's 5, 6 dudes walking down the street, she got a nice Sunday dress on, she shouldn't feel like she's gonna be freaking butt in the middle of the road because her husband's a weak body.
Yeah.
That's just...
We've seen a prevalence and an increase in weak men in this country like I've never seen before.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. It seems to be getting worse.
Testosterone levels are low right now.
It is. It's an epidemic, and it's disgusting to see. Not only is chivalry dead, but just men in general who know how to shoot a gun, know how to fight, know how to fix something leaking in their house.
Yeah.
Just change a tire. My view of what a man was growing up was someone who was that well-rounded person, but also a protector.
Did you have a dad in your life?
Never had a dad in my life, but I knew what a man's role was. I learned from some of the good men in my life. I never had a dad a day in my life. Never met him, never seen him, never nothing. But I had good men as role models, dads of my friends, who showed me, hey, this is what a man does. He's a provider. He's a supporter. He provides safety and comfort. And these are the things a man should know how to do. And that was something that I thought was normal.
Yeah.
It seems like today, if you talk about that, you're some kind of misogynist. You're some, it's like, wait a second, hold on a second. I'm not saying anything bad about women. I'm just saying my feeling is this should be a man's duties and his obligations.
That's because we're letting the weirdos run the show now. Guess what? Hard time makes hard men. Soft times make soft men. Right now, it's got to get back to hard times to make hard men.
Yep.
That's just all it is.
Yep.
That's just all it is. These women want to be independent. I'm an independent woman. I want to do this. I want to do that. But then when some weird stuff starts to happen and they can't do it, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, a man's supposed to be there. But if you can't find a man that's There's multiple tools that you can use, but there is a place inside of the spectrum for the man. When you look at, we're animals. We forget that we're animals because society have told us that we're not. Because we have been in civilization so long, you should know how to go freaking find that animal, cut his head off, take the body, do the things that you need to do, and eat the meat. But we forget that because we have so many things. We go to the grocery store, we do this, we do that.
Yep.
It's instant. Yep. And then they tell us as men, because we got these weirdos running around here that want to sleep with the little kids and all of this stuff, they running around here because that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to say a boy should not be strong. A boy should not have energy. A boy should not do that bullshit. Yeah. Yes, we should.
Yeah,
we should run around like monkeys on a vine and do these things. They call it toxic masculinity. No, you need that. Because when the shit hits the fan, you're looking for somebody with that toxic masculinity. Whenever there's a crisis happens, your friends, they're calling you trying to figure out what to do.
All of them.
Suresh, what we need to do, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them.
No, you don't. I'm not the thing that you freaking hit the glass and pulled me out the damn thing. Because by the time that happens, it's already too late.
It is too late. Yeah.
I'm protecting my family. I'm putting in work out here.
Yep. So for the people who are watching and they're maybe in the South Texas, Houston area, how can they find you and learn about your training? TacticalKarl1@gmail.com. That's my email, and Karl is going to be with a K as in King. _Tactical_Karl. That's also on Instagram. You can hop on YouTube, which is growing out of this world right now. What's your Instagram up to now? Every time I look, it's like
65 of my YouTube has hit 207,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So I'm grinding.
Hey, man.
Hey, look, I take a book from John Bartolo, my boy, shout out. I know you're looking down, and I brought your coin to SHOT Show. So make sure you was front line at the shit show.
I seen that. Seen that. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. I want to let you leave everyone with a message when it comes to their safety and their survival in this day and age where our country's at today. What do you have in closing for people, whether they're a shooter, they own a firearm, they don't own a firearm, they're just an American living in this society, they're a little nervous, they're a little scared what's going on, they're a little uncertain about where the direction of our country's going. You, not only from your military background, but your law enforcement background, and as a person who trains people to fight like their life depends on it, what's something in closing you could share with these people that they're scared?
This is what I tell you, like I said before, get out there, start training, start finding online classes, start finding in-person classes, start getting some medical equipment together, start doing these things so at least you have the tools and you have the knowledge when that time comes to make you feel a little bit better. Because I don't give a damn what place I go into this world. If I got my tools and I got the things I need to go, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you say? I walk with my staff and my rod. Mm-hmm. I shall fear no evil. Mm-hmm. Lord, prepare my hands for battle and my fingers for war.
Yeah.
Because I'm rocking and rolling with it. Because I believe in my skills and my abilities, and I am confident to make it happen. When the devil tests me, when I'm knocking on the devil's doorstep, and when he answers, I'm ready to go. So that's the thing. Be prepared. Be mentally prepared. You don't have to be as extreme as I am, but do the things that you need to do and be hard to kill. And train like you fight, and fight like you train is not just a saying. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life, and it's what you have to do.
It's the only way. Brother, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put all the links below to find this man and his training. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys next time.